Hi, I'm Marc DiBenedetto alongside Danny Pello, Harry Hawkins, and Taylor Denson. There's no build-up needed for this week. At 6-0, Trinity and Amherst are tied for first in the NESCAC, and the winner of their game this weekend will determine the 2011 NESCAC champion. TSM football! TSM football! TSM football! TSM football coming at you! Yeah! My focus of the week is on the Trinity rushing attack. Last season, Trinity relied heavily on freshman running back Evan Bunker, who carried the ball over 35 times a game in the second half of the season, totaling up nearly 1,000 yards by season's end. Fortunately, Bunker will now be joined by fellow sophomores Ben Crick and Dante Astheimer, who both suffered season-ending injuries in back-to-back weeks early last season. My focus of the week is on the Trinity wide receivers. Coach Giovanni seems to have solved his quarterback problems, and now the focus will shift to the wide receivers to continue the production they showed in last week's game. Trinity is last in the NESCAC in passing offense, and a lot of that falls in the receiving corps. A.J. Jones leads the team with 189 yards receiving, while Andrew Grumbala is right on his tail. However, after Jones and Grumbala, the drop-off is a significant one. Chris Ragone is third on the team with 71 receiving yards this far. The Bantams will need their entire receiving corps to step up and contribute to add a second dimension to the Bantam offense. My player to watch is wide receiver number 7, Andrew Grumbala. The junior only has 9 catches for 138 yards for the first 5 games, but he put up big numbers this past Saturday versus Bowdoin. Grumbala had 5 catches for 52 yards, as well as his first TD reception of the year against the number 4 pass defense. Crick is making a name for himself with his speed and knack for ripping off long touchdown runs. I expect him to bring this aspect to the return game and set up his offense with good field position throughout the game. In fact, I would not be surprised to see Crick break loose on a punt return or a kick return and bring it all the way back for a Bantam touchdown.
Hi, I'm Stu Lovejoy.
And I'm Marc DiBenedetto. Coming up on Trin TV Sports Center, I'm going to tell you about how the men's hockey and basketball teams are getting ready for their playoff runs.
Hi, I'm Amanda Ward.
And I'm Marc DiBenedetto. Coming up on Trin TV Sports Center, I'm going to tell you about the secret to the 4-0 Trinity football team.
And I'm going to hockey coach.
And finally, I'll talk to Trinity's record-breaking men's soccer goalie, Grant Schoenberg.
All that and more on this week's episode of Trin TV Sports Center.
The game advanced to a best-of-5 penalty kick shootout, and unfortunately, this is where the Bantams' luck ran out. Trinity was unable to convert any penalty kicks, while Babson finished each of their 3 shots to win the shootout 3-0. Despite the tough finish to the season, with a record of 11-5-3, the Bantams have set a good foundation for successful seasons in the future. Unfortunately, we are starting this particular episode of Trin TV Sports Center off on a gloomy note. As most of you have probably heard, the men's squash team's bid for a 14th straight national title fell short on Sunday, losing their finals match to Princeton by the score of 5-4. This loss is only the second in 14 seasons for the Bantams, coming just 32 days after Trinity's loss to Yale, which ended the 252-match winning streak. Despite the loss, I'm talking to 2 seniors on the soccer team, Grant Schoenberg and Joe Buckley. Soccer captains for the women's team, Jenny Lai and Lee Howard. Walter Fallis and Herman Brito, the 2 captains of the Trinity football team this year. Here with Tony Chen, the TSM Performer of the Week. He's a junior on the track team. Connor Riley and Joe Buckley. Walter, second straight shutout for the Bantams. You had a few tackles, a couple sacks today. How did you guys dominate up front? You had the QB change, combined the quarterbacks were 1 for 12.
Alright, Herm, you guys had 4 shutouts this year.
Chris, now that your career is over, what do you attribute most to your success as a Trinity basketball player? You were the only senior on the roster, as I mentioned, and not only that, there were 11 freshmen on the roster. So what did you do to kind of overcome these challenges throughout the season as the captain and make sure that everybody on the team was playing up to their potential of being the best leader that you could be?
Yeah, every day
It's quite a feat, and what does it mean to you to tie such a great record?
it's pretty important to me.
With the opportunity to break the record on the line in those 2 games, will that be in the back of your mind, or will you just be focused on winning and positioning yourselves for a NESCAC run?
Well, getting a shutout.
Hey, what's up, Dante?
Hey, what's up, Mark?
That's our show for this week. For TSN and Trin TV, I'm Marc DiBenedetto.